How are we doing, everyone? Sam here from United People's TV, here to preview this upcoming game we've got now against Manchester City at Old Trafford on Wednesday in the EFL fourth round. Comes off the back of a really humiliating defeat for Man United against Chelsea. It's the first point we've got to talk about there. There's no escaping how bad that result was. From the first 30 seconds when Pedro got that goal, it was just a shambles from Man United from front to back. Chris Smalling with the worst performance I've ever seen from him in a United shirt. Worse than that one he got sent off at the Etihad a couple of years ago. And David De Gea making mistakes, Ibrahimovic missing chances, Pogba and Herrera missing all over the pitch. Apart from Antonio Valencia, I think every player was a shambles. And going into this City game now, we always knew this was going to be a tough period for Man United. Liverpool away, Fenerbahce, Chelsea away, Man City in the Cup. We've now got a draw at Anfield, which looked like a good result at the time, but followed by this humiliation against Chelsea. It now looks like an almost bad result because we've got 1 point from 6 there. We're going into a game against City where it's the EFL Cup. It doesn't matter on paper, but all of a sudden it's carrying this huge significance, which it didn't need, and which it now has because of how badly Man United have done in the last few games, the last few important games. Fenerbahce, to go from that 4-1 against Fenerbahce to that Chelsea performance, it's just mind-boggling. It's such a lack of consistency from United. And I think the saving grace in all of this is that Man City have not been running away with it at all. They drew with Southampton at the weekend. They got pumped for, 4-1, 4-0. They got pumped by Barcelona. They lost to Spurs 2-0. And they also drew to Everton during this time as well. So Mourinho has 1 win in 6, and I believe Guardiola is without a win in 5. So prior to the derby that we had in the start of September, it was sold as the Battle of Manchester. Manchester was supposed to be the epicentre of football this year. Mourinho against Guardiola, United against City. Who's going to win the league? Heading into this one, it's a very different feeling around it. And there's extreme pressures on Guardiola and Mourinho to win this game, but not the sort of pressures people may have expected. And I do expect it to be... I don't know what I expect from this game now, actually, because United have just been so inconsistent in these last few games that it's made me question a lot about the players' commitment, the players' drive, Mourinho's tactics. I think he was right against Liverpool. The attack was just poor. He completely got it wrong against Chelsea. And people are saying that it's all down to the players. Absolutely not. There's a reason why Rashford didn't find himself one-on-one with Gary Cahill at any point. It's because he was tasked with playing as more of a defensive fullback than an attacking winger. Luke Shaw should have started. I don't think Daley Blind should have started at left back. Not that I was predicting the shambles that he was at left back against Pedro, but we needed that attacking left back to try and expose the gaps that was going to be left behind Victor Moses, because he was obviously going to play attacking, but we didn't. We came with a very defensive formation, and that third goal after 30 seconds completely killed any momentum that we could have built in that formation. And we only had one period in the second half for 10 minutes where we looked like we were going to score, and then Eden Hazard scored in the counter. Game over. Man City game at the weekend. It's clear that the Man City players are struggling to really accept and adopt to this Guardiola style of play. I think when John Stones obviously gave the ball away, you had De Bruyne and maybe Sterling, it was in front of him, who were too far away from him. Guardiola likes his small triangles, quick passing. City haven't fully embraced that yet. And United certainly haven't embraced what Mourinho's trying to do. But I know what Mourinho's trying to do, but maybe I'm not agreeing with all of it. And I suppose this was the issue that we had when getting Mourinho in this clash of ideologies and these clash of tactics. In certain games, Liverpool, it worked. I don't think we should have gone with such a defensive mindset against Chelsea in a game I believe was winnable. Yeah, it's been a bogey ground for United, but I haven't been that impressed by this Chelsea team this year. I feel like we made an average Chelsea team look very good. I've been getting slated by loads of Chelsea fans, but I'm going to stick by it. I don't think Chelsea they're going to finish in the top 4? Maybe, but the way United are going, we're going to be struggling for that. I mean, it's all about momentum in football, and we're still 6 points off the top of the league, so it's not all over in October. It never is over in October. But United if we do lose against Manchester City on Wednesday, it's going to be a real sense of pressure, and the wrong sorts of pressure going on the players and Mourinho at an early stage in the season that I didn't actually expect. Not that we expected Mourinho to come out and win every single game. It's unfeasible. But I did expect United to play better than we are playing. With the players that we've got at our disposal. See Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I don't think he should start against Manchester City. I think he should be put on the bench. You know, he's only scored 1 in his last 5 or 6 games, and that was against FC Zoria. Missed sitters against Stoke, Liverpool and Chelsea. It's not that you're looking for scapegoats, but you have to identify your players in and out of form, and Zlatan playing 90 minutes every game just doesn't make sense. I think against Chelsea he probably would have been taken off, but we had Eric Bailly who got an injury. Fellaini had to be taken off. So we didn't have that many subs left, and obviously Mourinho chose to bring Martial on for Lingard instead, which is probably a right move. But this City game, United just need to... I don't know what United need to do now. I feel very confused as to what I'm seeing United do at the moment, because it was such a unified and team performance against Liverpool away, but such a disparaging and very poor performance against Chelsea that was littered with mistakes from front to back. That how do we recover from that in time to play Man City? But we've got to. You know, City losing against City at Old Trafford early this season was embarrassing. It wasn't a humiliation on the scale of Chelsea, obviously not, but we got turned over in that first half against City. We can't do that against City on Wednesday. We've got to play Herrera and Pogba. Maybe Carrick might come in this game, but one player who certainly shouldn't play is Fellaini. I think Juan Matas should be starting. Just with Mata in the team, I feel we're a bit more fluid and we have a lot more going forward. He might not offer the defensive side of the game that Mourinho loves so much, but we don't need that right now. We need to concentrate on attack. Henrik Mkhitaryan, where is he? Is he injured? What's wrong with him? We should be having, in an ideal world, I think Rashford up front with Martial out on the left, Juan Mata in number 10 and Henrik Mkhitaryan on the right. That's pace, that's fluidity, that's dynamic attack, that's options. That's going to create some real issues for this City team who love to press forward and love to press high. If we can expose that, then we're going to have some opportunities. But United really have to pull their socks up and put a performance out their arse against City that they didn't look like they could against Chelsea. But then a few days earlier than that, we spanked Fenerbahce 4-1. And a few days before that, we got a gritty point away to Anfield. Just a lack of consistency in United right now, in everything that we're seeing. And that's why it's very hard to predict this Man City game. It's two teams coming up against each other who are not in great form, haven't had a good string of recent results, and the pressure is starting to build on both clubs. You see Man City fans booing Guardiola's City off the pitch at the Etihad at the weekend. Man United fans singing their hearts out at Stamford Bridge, as we always do. But how do I think this game is going to go? I think City will control possession, but I want United to adopt a very similar sort of team outlook that we did against Liverpool, in that players were pressing very high up the pitch. There was a lot of energy and a lot of activity from United that made it very difficult for Liverpool to get a stranglehold of the game. Because of that, we took their gegenpressing away. We need to try and do that against Man City. Are Man City a step above Liverpool? I would argue yes. So it's going to be difficult, especially with players like De Bruyne and Aguero. Obviously, Aguero wasn't in the derby last time and they won. Now he's going to be back. He's going to be firing on all cylinders. And with Eric Bailly out injured, Chris Smalling looking like a preschool defender, it was awful. Who's going to play in defence for us? I think it's going to be Blind and Smalling with Luke Shaw out on the left. But let me know your predictions in the comments below. How do I think this game is going to go? I think you've got two teams bang out of form. Two teams who know that a loss is more damaging. That fear of a loss is going to be looming over both clubs. And I think it's going to be a gritty draw. I don't think it'll be a boring game. I think it's going to be entertaining for the neutrals. I think for both sets of fans, it's not going to be nice. But because it's the EFL Cup, there's not as much pressure riding on it. But I think it's going to go to a draw, go to penalties, and I think United are going to win on penalties because we've got David De Gea in goal. That's my prediction. Let me know yours in the comments below. And just let me know how you're feeling ahead of this City game. Very confusing 10-day period for United fans after the good point that we got away at Anfield, the confidence-boosting win we got over Fenerbahce, and the energy-sapping humiliation at the hands of Chelsea. Where does that leave United going into this City game? I'm not sure. Let me know your comments below. Drop a like on the video as always and subscribe to United People's TV. And we'll see you soon. Take it easy.